welcome back to the Magic Forest. Like I said, this is a double video day, but obviously you watch it when you watch it. You watch it. That's one thing I love about YouTube is that um, it's not enforced. Like people follow it and they watch it, and they can only blame themselves for what however much time they want to watch it. And so it's like as an artist and someone who is trying to grow this kind of uh, magic forest empire. I've got the hairstyle to grow an empire now, a magic forest empire. Um, yeah, it's like YouTube is the least intrusive because people can only blame themselves for watching it. So if you want to listen to me, then that's like fine, and if you don't, or if you want to listen to me for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, that's entirely up to you. Um, and I would say as well that it is when I talk about philosophy. It's just my philosophy. I'm not saying it's right, or it's just how I get through my life. And it works for me, and that's it. And then you can take it or leave it. Like with all philosophy, you can take it or leave it. You can take bits of it, um, and add it to your own, or you can reject bits of it, um, because they might not be relevant. And yesterday we were talking about the manic depression, and what they call bipolar. And I think people they changed it from manic depression to bipolar, and because it is bipolar. But I think manic depression is so much more descriptive because it's either manic or it's depressive, and there's nothing in the middle, and so that sums it up perfectly. And how did I lessen the curve? Henry just knocked the door. Oh boy. How do you lessen the curve when you're in that dark hole? And yesterday I was kind of trying to articulate it, and then I picked up this book immediately after I'd made the video. And I often open this book on a random page, and it's beautiful. Thich Nhat Hanh. It's just brilliant. He's a Zen Buddhist monk, but then he sort of created his own form of Buddhism and philosophy or school, and this book in particular, The Art of Living, is non-secular. It's about it's like the philosophy of his philosophy for the lay person, the non-Buddhist person. So he uses examples from all different cultures and religions, as well as Buddhism. Obviously he knows most about Buddhism, so there is Buddhist examples, but not in a kind of religious forced way. And it's heavy, like all philosophy is heavy, and so I always find the best thing to do with it is you can read it for half an hour or something, but I just like to just open the page. Henry, can you stop moving the video, please? We're on the door here. And I thought the door was like a really nice place to hang it. And as soon as I open the book, it says, "When we know the art of how to suffer, we suffer much less. We're able to make use of the mud of our suffering to grow lotuses of love and understanding." And like I say, when you can you stop? When you're trying to make manic depression into, you know, apply positive psychology to manic depression. Um, it it doesn't work when you're in the bottom of the hole, um, unless you condition yourself and give yourself tools to be able to lessen the curve. Henry, you've broken it. um, but you know, I always felt like, you know, bipolar was part of me, and that, you know, I would go into the bottom of these holes. You know, I would feel myself coming down, and then I would feel myself coming back up, and that positive psychology could be applied in hindsight. That, you know, I always felt like I'd learned something about myself, and that was positive. Um, but at the time, nothing is positive when you're at the bottom of a dark hole. And I think the feeling is that of loneliness more than anything else. Um, and that, how do you change the being lonely to being happy and content alone? Happy is probably the wrong word, but being content alone. Um, and now I am, and I think that's the fundamental change, is that I am happy alone. Whereas the loneliness was always the kind of root cause of my depression. I mean, heartbreak as well, and romantic love, and that, you know, romantic love is always this kind of dream that it's going to save you from loneliness, but um, as I've said before, it is impossible to love um, if you do not love yourself first. Um, you're not equipped. Romantic love does not save you from anything. Only you can save yourself. And so romantic love is a bonus, of course. It's a beautiful thing, but it's not something that you can depend on, because the most beautiful, sweetest, kindest person in the world can break your heart, and in turn you can try to be the best person that you can be in a relationship and still inadvertently break somebody else's heart. And so romantic love in itself, sometimes it just doesn't work. Is not something that we can trust, and certainly not something that we can pin hopes on to save us from loneliness. And that there's that again. We're talking about the bottom of a dark hole. Is this feeling of hopelessness that, you know, that it's not going to change, but that everything changes, and that's another tool. Is the idea of impermanence, that there's never going to be a fixed state in your life. It's going to change. It's going to get better. It might get worse depending on where you are on the curve. The impermanence and the acceptance of impermanence is actually a beautiful thing, that things are going to change. Um, you know, it's not futile. And so gratitude is another thing, you know, to be grateful of nature. When you feel like you're going into a dark hole, the black dog, you can feel his presence behind you, and you know, I think that that constant conditioned gratitude is so important. Um, to be thankful every day, to always look for the most positive outlook, because positivity is always a choice, and happiness is a choice. And I think when once you get you learn that you can choose to be happy, or you can choose to be sad, or you can choose to worry, you can choose not to worry, then life becomes so much easier. That, you know, especially say we're heartbroken, we feel like, you know, this is a feeling that I cannot control, you know, that it's happening to me, and that I'm not in control of it. But you can, that you can choose to look at it in a more beautiful way, that sometimes things just don't work. To seek nature. nature always gives you a sense of gratitude of the beauty of life, and that it constantly surrounds us. Even in the city, you can find it. Even if you are sitting at home alone and you are in the bottom of a dark hole, you surround yourselves with pot plants. Buy cut flowers once a week, they will bring you joy. Um, and how do you go about this, loving yourself? As I spoke to you before, be, how to be your friend. And if you are but I, it's about self-loathing, which was again another big thing that put me in the bottom. um, Self-loathing. Be your friend. you know if you are being your own friend, then what do you do if your friend is in that position? You care for them, you love them, you try to give them, you know good food, and try to, help them, get them out of the house and take them to nature. Do those things that a friend would do for you. um, and in that sense, being a friend is, the best way to be in all situations. That you should try to be the friend that you would like to have to your friends as well. Try to be the friend that you wish you had, and that's a beautiful thing. Um, Expectations. That was such a big thing, that I would have high expectations of people, of events, of things that were going to happen that were exciting. And then those things perhaps didn't turn out or didn't work out, and that I actually would, uh, then become depressed because I didn't the story didn't meet my expectations. And if you because the future is always 100% uncertain, that you should expect nothing from nobody, and they will surprise you. Expect nothing from life, and life becomes full of surprises. And that's a beautiful thing. um, Mindfulness, just being present, bringing yourself into this moment. Because when we are worrying, or when we are anxious, we're always putting ourselves into the future. And just breathing, concentrating on your surroundings, on the breeze, um, being in your own body, um, removes the anxiety and the worry from the future. Energy, just emitting positive energy. When you love yourself, you emit positive energy. When people are depressed and sad, they need your positive energy, and you can give yourself your own positive energy. And I try to practice this, and I don't know if it works or not, but that we do have this aura. And when we are in a good state of mind, that aura is large, and it can embrace others. But when it is, um, uh, when you are depressed, that all that energy is just inside you, and it's not releasing. And so if you just breathe and feel that energy release from your body, and that beautiful energy can envelope others. um, and I think that just doing good for other people, that is always just an immediate sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. And that, if it's all your problems, then help somebody else, focus on somebody else's problems, and do, even just donating a little bit of, to a good cause, or just, you know texting a friend who might need a text. um, that is always going to remove the problem from yourself, and actually help you to focus on something that is positive. Um, and when I'm sat here talking about philosophy, I often feel like, it's somewhat self-righteous. And some of my friends make fun of me, like, "What, you think you're Jesus?" And it's kind of like, well, firstly, being like Jesus is not a bad thing, right? Because the only thing that we definitely know about Jesus was that he was a really lovely guy, right? So, you know, he became famous through the art of storytelling at that time because he was just so compassionate and so wonderful. And you know, Buddha the same, you know, just a lovely, lovely guy. And so do try to be like that. I tried to be like Jesus. Well, I grew up, I went to a Methodist school and they were telling me to be like Jesus. And so society is strange in that sense that it tells you to be like Jesus, but then when you be like Jesus, then you're like, no, not that much like Jesus. But you know, it always surprises me when you get those kind of judgmental Christians, and you're like, how can you be a judgmental Christian? That's in the book. Read the book. And all religions, you know, they have so many gems and so much insight because all religions are designed to make you into a better person and how you react with other people. Um, and so all religions has gems and insights, and that you know, that not judging others is just such an important one, to just accept people immediately as they are, and see what they have to offer, give them time, and then, you know, non-judgment, and you know, sometimes you do meet these beautiful, beautiful Christians who are completely non-judgmental and they're doing practicing what they preach, and that's beautiful. And that is about it. And it's nearly lunchtime, and that was almost a structured video. I even wrote something down in my lovely book. That's made from Persimmon Dye. Persimmon Dye. Lovely book. And it's nice because it stays flat on the table. Anyway, I love you, and that was a bit of a longer video, but if you find something in it that you like, then I think then I've done my bit for today. I want to go and do some artwork, and me and Henry are going to go out and explore the local area because the last few months have been so manic. We've just been slowing down here for the last few days, and so we're going to go out and explore the river. So I love you. Be your friend. Be like Jesus. Be like Buddha. Be like Gandhi. Be like Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh. I always get dyslexic with his name. Thich Nhat Hanh. Be like beautiful people, because then you must be going in the right direction. I love you. Take care. Bye bye.